What's up, everyone? Crimshot here, and I'm going to react to Hunter x Hunter episodes 102, 3, and 4. Last time we were left off with a new friend, Ikalgo. He's the octopus guy. Killua cut off pretty much all of his legs except for two, and I guess the gun thing that I wasn't sure if it was an arm or a leg, but probably was a leg that he converted to a gun, but that's not that important right now. What's important is Killua almost died, and Ikalgo saved him. If not for Ikalgo, Killua probably would have died right then and there, but that didn't happen. I like Ikalgo. He's pretty cool. Just like Killua was saying, he is pretty cool. It's a bit dramatic, but I think that's where the comedy was coming in. What else did we have? You know, at the moment, that's all I can really think about. I'll be honest. I haven't been recording or doing much reaction really lately because my friend wanted me to play Genshin Impact. I didn't realize that game, it's like I heard about the game, but I didn't realize that the game could actually be co-op. He wanted me to start playing it and play with him, so I tried it out and I got addicted. So I've been mostly playing this game instead of doing these recordings, and I apologize, but it is I don't know what it is. I really like the game. It's a fun game. Like they say, it's like a Zelda with a cross of waifus and husbandos. But I've never played a Zelda game in my life. I was this close to playing a Zelda game, but then my friend, he sold his Switch. So, I mean, I guess I could buy my own, but when it comes to buying Nintendo systems, I only play like 1 or 2 games and then I get rid of it. But yeah, I'm getting a bit off topic, but yeah, things are still underway with the plan with Nefropito's plan. We have what was his name? Leo. Yeah, Leo. Apparently, he has a new power from Shiapoof, and Shiapoof may bestow the power onto Chitu as well. There was also, what was it? You know what? It's been a while. I don't want to get too much into talking. I'm just gonna get right into the reaction. Let's check it out. It looks like his legs are growing back, actually. I can't remember if that is a trait of an octopus where it can just grow back its legs. I think so. Power and games. That's right, I forgot that this happened. For some reason, him smoking a cigarette actually fits him. Oh, that's actually pretty smart. His real power. What's your real power? Only the smell of cigarettes. Like teleport? Nope. Perfect plan. God's alibi. I can see that. So he revealed his ultimate power to Gon. He really is putting his trust in the Gon. Yeah, build trust. Right. But what for, though? What is this partnership for? What is his goal still? その話はお前さんからパートナーになってもいいって言葉を聞いてからだ。うん、なって You don't know how to bargain, kid. Suspect everyone. He's not wrong. That's funny, because then Killua just made friends with Ikalgo. So it'll work out either way. Most likely. It'll be fine. Gon is like one of those characters that using their just own charisma strings other people along for whatever reason. Really? Yes, why? Why do you care about taking over the king? Revenge. Is it because the king killed one of the Chimera ants that he was friends with or something? Just say it. Peggy. Yep. Yeah, he wasn't there. Or was he? I don't remember him being there. Oh, from like the past memory before they were eaten by the Chimera Ant Queen? Yeah. That's quite a bit. Foster father's human name. What are the odds that he end up with the same name? The foster father, I mean. I think it depends on what animal you've been paired with. Had the opposite reaction. Oh, that's right. Can he make Gon go invisible? What happened? Oh, he used his god's alibi. Yeah, that's right. He has to hold his breath as soon as he exhaled. Yeah. God's accomplice. But he has to know your name in order to activate God's accomplice. Okay. Oh yeah. I don't know. He's putting a lot of hopes on this power that he has. Because I feel like the king is too good for that. Like, he'll probably still detect them. Because I feel like the king has more heightened senses in all across the spectrum, you know? Where is he getting these SIGs from? Could be better than me? Is Gon talking about Netero?
責めもしねえ。俺が自分の目で見て話して、こいつは信頼すると決めたからだ。だがお前さんが信頼してる人物を俺がそのまんま信頼できるかどうかは別。分かってもらえるか。パーフェクトプランは決して無敵の能力。
Not invincible. Highly vulnerable. Of course, you have to hold your breath. Yeah. You're still there. And once you get hit in the gut, all that air is gonna come right out. Okay. Okay. So even with N, God's alibi will be able to elude people who are using N. Okay. At least that's what I'm picking up on what he's saying right now. Oh, it's Knuckle. That's right. It makes sense that Knuckle would be on board. Ooh. Killua is out of commish, but not to worry. Kogo's there to keep him breathing. He's playing board games. Oh, I thought he would have killed him. And he's dead. Yeah. The National Go Champion. This is interesting that he's actually taking up these types of pastimes at the moment. I guess it'll relieve him of boredom. And now he's reading up on a new game called Go. I mean, even if you are a champion, I would think you'd be under way more pressure if your life is on the line for the game. Yeah, all he did was read it once. The manual, I mean. It's all about learning the feel. That makes sense in a way. Because once you get inside your opponent's head, they can't think how they can't go by their own rhythm. It's more like he's making them play to his rhythm. Gungi. But you stack up the 3 pieces. So East Gortil made a game, and when they introduced it to the world, they have been the only ones who've been able to win at the game. Yeah, it seems like the king is just trying to pass the time right now, because he's bored. Who's this? She blind? She's blind. 6 days. Oh, shit. Her nose is running. Alright, that was my reaction to episode 102. Yeah, I forgot about that whole deal with the chameleon guy Meteoran and Gon. And it seems like he was holding back on his ultimate power, as he calls it. What was it? Perfect plan, also known as God's alibi. So it's the same sense on what the example that he gave was like when you go to like a restaurant with friends and there's always that one guy that the waitress would forget to bring water for. It's like someone's presence doesn't emanate enough to where you are known to the person. I've seen this in other anime before. I forget what it's called or if it even has a name, but it is true when you're out with friends and there's that one that kind of just blends in with the background. You feel sorry for that person, but at the same time you always forget about them. Hey man, I don't know what it is. It's the presence is just not that known. There was also the we didn't get to see Ikalgo treating Killua getting back at it. We didn't see any of that. It was mostly the first half with Gon and Meteoran. It was interesting how he was saying that some of the Chimera Ants were more likely to regain their past memories than others. So he said that he was he regained like his parents, his name, some childhood episodes, and Peggy turned out to be his the first one that the king killed was the penguin, the Peggy dude, and he was the one that turned out to be his Meteoran's foster father. And it just so happens that they had the same name before and when he became a Chimera Ant. Peggy was also his name back then, so that was, I don't know if that was coincidental because they were the ones that chose their own names. It was the Chimera Ant Queen that chose the names for the Royal Three Guards and the king himself. Everyone besides them named themselves, so maybe he just remembered his old name and called him that, and I was just looking too deep into it. But Gon was able to build trust with Meteoran. He wanted trust with Gon, and once Gon gave him his name, he revealed to Gon his third power, which is basically God's alibi, but he has to be holding Gon's hand, and like God's alibi, has to be holding his breath. As soon as he exhales, the perfect plan falls through. And like he says, it's vulnerable, but at the same time, it's very useful. Vulnerable in the sense that even though no one can sense me, he's still practically there. So if he could get hit on accident from a stray projectile, or someone swinging their limbs to hit someone else, he could get into the crossfire and get hit as well. Making, once you get hit, I would assume that you can't hold in your breath anymore, and then he's revealed his presence to everyone. There's also, because of what Killua was doing, the plan had been derailed. You find out when Gon calls Knuckle. Knuckle's like all for it though, because he didn't like how the plan was going originally. But now that it's derailed, there are some changes that had to be done. So it seemed like Morel and Nov, they had to do some things to help prevent. They like pretty much cordored off the city using their abilities, and now that they've done that, they're not going to be at full strength to go up against the Royal Guards. So it'll just be Shoot, Knuckle, Gon, and Killua to go and take on the three themselves. I think that's what Knuckle was saying. Another thing I forgot to mention was Meteoron mentioned, or he said that because some Chimera Ants get their memories more than others, he was saying that it's probably because some of them are more feral than others. Like they have more of that animal instinct overtaking the human side of them. And I thought, that makes a lot of sense. I guess it depends on what animal you've been paired with. So there's Chitu, there's the Leor. So I'm thinking like more carnivorous pair-ups, you know. I'm thinking of more like if you've been paired up, if you become a Chimera Ant, you were once human, but you were paired up with another another species. If that species is carnivorous, you know, they're predators. Like say for instance the owl, the bat girl, you have Chitu, you have the lion, like all of those come off as more predator like. And if you look at Peggy, he was a penguin. He was like the most level-headed of the bunch at the time. So that's how I'm looking at it right now. Like all the ones that were feral that Meteoron is talking about, they're probably feral because of their animal instincts are stronger because of the species they've been paired up with. And at the very end, or what was it? The king is trying to pass time by learning all of the human games, Shogi, Go, and then it got introduced to a unique game that originated in the East Gorto. And even though it was, you know, revealed to the world, you got worldwide championships, no one else have been able to beat or win the championship who has been outside of East Gorto. It's like someone always wins that championship, and that someone is always from where the game originated. So it was talking about how it's very similar to Shogi. It has like a three-dimensional thing going where you can stack pieces. I'm not that good at chess. I don't think I've played. I've never played Shogi before. I just know that it's kind of similar to chess. I don't know if it's exactly the same. I want to say it's just close to give an idea. I've seen Go. I don't really understand Go. But you know, those types of games, I really need someone else to play with. My friend, he what was it? He bought like one of the chess games off of Steam. He wanted to challenge me, and he hasn't challenged me yet, but he got me the game, so I'm just waiting on that. And at the very last second, we got to see the last player walk in. It looks like a little girl. She's blind because she has the stick to feel around for, you know, her surroundings. Her eyes are closed. She also has a runny nose going on, so I don't know what's that to indicate. Is she sick? She has corona? What? Anyway, I think I've, you know, talked about this 102 long enough. Let's just get right into 103. Ah yes, the game was called Gungi. So the girl that they brought in is the third representative, and she is also a champion of Gogi. Might just be a runny nose.
奴は死んだ。今は世が王だ。
Mm-hmm.
気が散る。黙る。殺す。
She probably said what she said because she is blind. She said that she hasn't gotten out much, and therefore her social skills aren't that good. What's going on?
どうした？呼吸ができなかったとさ。稀に見るアホだ。いいからやれ。はい。ではよろしくお願いします。
Her eyes are open. She opens them when she plays, and yet she still can't see through them. He's not wrong. He is not wrong. That's right, the dogs flock to Knuckle, no? Aww. Oh, Knuckles getting to him. Can someone give her Kleenex? Oh, they've been playing the whole time. So the king knows that she's holding back, and he wants her to take him seriously in the game. 3 days and nights without sleep? Oh, the Go guy. The one he told give him 8 hours or something. He hanged himself? Damn. Purple Haze Soldiers. Those were all the guys that was standing on top of the roofs last episode. 216 puppets at once. Oh, okay. Normally he can do 216. But he like reinforced these so he can only make 50. Okay. So Neferpito gave up on the selection process using her puppets. Oh, never mind. There's a puppet right there. Oh, it's G2. Has he gained power from Shayaboof? Shayaboof. Yeah. I mean, Morero was already at a disadvantage when they last fought.
まずい。王にさえ通用するかもしれない戦法が無意味に。だがディープパープルは解除するわけにはいかない。残りのオーラで何とかする。
So he's not even gonna fight him at his full potential because he's got his aura spread out with his soldiers.
なんだ?
Now you're it.
なんだと?
Oh. He went to Greed Island. Nah. This is like his domain. 8 hours. What about Nav?
だからってシャリムに追っかけたって捕まらんだろう。まあ、じっくりとやるさ。
Oh, okay. Oh, and there's this guy.
G2 の能力が発動したな。背景は壁。
Okay.
奴の言う通り、現実世界から隔絶された面空間のようだな。
Yeah, it's pretty close to what a Nav does.
野球のグラウンドほどがディープパープルを回収すれば、この空間を
It's not as spacious as I thought it was.
ディープパープルの解除ができても、そのオーラをこの空間に戻せず回収できない場合。
Yeah.
試すにはリスクが高すぎる。
Yeah, he can't do it. Is he gonna hit the hourglass?
脱出する方法はただ一つ。この俺を捕まえることだけだってば。明らかにナックルの運ばれの影響を受けてるな。5時間経ったら起こしてくれ。なめてんのか。ムカつけ。
Can Chitu not do anything to him?
自分の能力を誤解してるよ。これは脚力の戦いじゃない。
I guess if Chitu was to like mess with him, like punch him while he sleeps, that would consider an out. Cause then Morel has to touch him in the game of tag. I can see that how that can get on Chitu's nerves. But he set himself up for that. Yeah. I hate this guy. The one that recons with the dragonflies. What is your power? She's trying to exercise Knuckles. Chapter 7 thing? Becoming worried. Nowhere near victory. Ooh. She's just having fun too. A storm draws near. Alright, that was my reaction to episode 103. Interesting stuff happened this time. Chitu's back, and he has trapped Morel. Apparently, it's going back to Cheetah learning a new technique from Shiapoof, right? So they're in like another realm that Chitu has created, one that fits his animalistic, his cheetah inside of him. But it's purely a game of tag, and Morel has picked up that he doesn't seem to have as much power as before because of the Chapter 7 bankruptcy from Knuckle has drained him of some Nem, I think. And it seems that girl that looks all too human is somehow exercising the Nen from Chitu. She has the bloated belly, almost like she's pregnant, but I don't know how that's working out. But Morel is trapped inside that field now, and he has his soldiers around him, of which he can make 216 of, but because of the situation, he has concentrated them with more power individually, so he only made 50 of them. And because he doesn't know how they react if he were to disperse them, not knowing if the den can return to him, so it'll make the game of tag easier for him, he decided to forego that option, and he's just relaxing, taking a nap, pissing off Chitu that way. I mean, Chitu kind of set himself up for that one. Nav is running about. I thought Nav would be able to get in there and get Morel out, but I guess he'd have to know where exactly that space went. He's being monitored by the dragonfly guy. I forget his name. I don't care for that guy. And then there's Leo, who's like commanding them still. We have Nefropito. She's talking about like how, oh, you guys better hurry up, get rid of the enemies, because if not, the king's gonna come out and he's gonna take care of the enemies himself. But he's too preoccupied trying to beat this little girl, who apparently is beating him over and over again now. Because at the beginning, he recognized that she wasn't taking him seriously. And once he started to beat her, that's when she started to up her game, and now she's at a point where he can't touch her in terms of getting close to beating her. So he's getting frustrated at that, but if he gives in to, probably just killing her, then, he wouldn't have accomplished anything there. So I can't tell. Maybe he is holding back, like maybe he really wants to kill her right now because he's not winning, but that'd just be more childish in a sense, and I think the king sees himself as being above that. What else was there? You got Gon. He was kinda introducing Meteoron to Knuckle and Shoot, and it was funny because the first Meteoron was talking about how like these first impressions are not good ones going, and it got to that point where he saw Knuckles' side where he cared about the dogs, and it looked like Meteoron was going to cry too. I like that. That was good. We still have no info from Ikago taking care of Killua. Killua is still, MIA at the moment, to them at least. I don't remember that where it seemed like Gon was saying that Killua would initiate the call. So right now they're treating it that Killua is fine. This is normal. You have to wait on him to call back. So they're not really worried about Killua, but he is in a state where they should be. But again, that's how he set it up. He wanted Killua, to initiate the call back. That's why he's not calling back to Gon when Gon is initiating the call. But yeah, Leo, the lion dude, he keeps on talking about how he has like this new power and that he doesn't want to reveal it just yet. I'm curious as to what that may be, but at the same time, I could care less about his character because he really hasn't been doing much. Yeah, there's a lot still going on. The selection process kind of seemed like it's been halted altogether because of the soldiers that Morel put out. Them soldiers are taking care of the puppets. Morel himself took care of one of the puppets. So I feel like Nefropito has given up on that whole selection thing using the puppets. I'm more curious as to what's going to happen with this game with the little girl and the king. Did they mention the girl's name? If so, I'll probably see it when I'm editing this. But yeah, let's get on to 104. Around 5,000. 5,000 what? What is all that? So Shiapoof bestowed them with powers as well. What were all those egg-looking like things in the tree? Doubt and hesitation. Okay, so Nav has some fight in him. All this time I've only seen him as the guy that makes portals. Okay, so they don't know his power. Missed him. Hide and seek. And he has these rations right there. 21 rooms on 4 floors. Okay. One must exit by a different door. He basically makes a building in another dimension. So he has the master key. Can someone steal his master key? Okay. Yes, please get rid of that guy. Yes, please get rid of this guy. Back to Morel and Chitu. 5 hours, Morel was saying he'd take a nap for. They keep chasing you. If he gives up and moves away, then he wins. Okay. Oh. I thought that those trees were like underground or something. They were right out in the open. It's like they were originally trees and they just stuck web eggs on them. For a moment I almost thought that that spider guy was still alive, but I remember that Phantom Trope got rid of him. Remote concealment. Alright, he's gonna try and get in her head. Was she expecting that? I can't tell because her eyes are like that. It looks like she's surprised, but she's just blind. Why do I have chills? Ooh. For that brief moment he was thinking all the different possibilities. And he just gave up. Hmm. 10 years ago, how old is she? So someone used it against her, and right then and there she had to come up with the counter. It disappeared from official matches and textbooks? Why? Like seeing my child brought back to life? Hmm. Okay. How many days has it been? She said she could do it for 3 non-stop.
あれほど長い間黙って人の話を聞いたのは初めてですね。それだけのこと。
I don't know.
結局飽きて読書だもんな。わかりやすすぎて張り合いがねえぜ。おわ、始めで。もう5時間経ったのか。俺、まだ半分くらいじゃ。気づいたか？自分の足首見てみな。絶対見つからないように遠回りさせたから相当長いロープになっちまったから。
You went all the way around.
あとはこのロープをたぐるだけ。時間の問題だな。
You gonna try and run now? Won't it yank the pipe out of him? Unless he's holding it real... There you go. It's a rope that can't be severed. You might have to get rid of his leg. But then that'll just be getting rid of his life right there. Or maybe at least his foot. That way it can slide off. Yeah. A new ability. The hell is that? Crossbow and claws. Just start using it then. Oh, that's good. I think that pushed him over the edge. Ayy. Smoke. Gotcha. And laughing like a fool. And they're back. He's gonna ask for another new power? What? Are these powers just that expendable? Oh, okay, so now he's agreeing with how Gon and Killua went with it. I love that they can just chill out in this room with no worries. IOU dispenser. Borrow an ability in exchange for granting the target a favor. Huh. So he can use anyone's power as long as he's met those conditions. And as long as that person is alive, he can use it whenever. For an hour. The target cannot use the borrowed power. Okay.
なんとか連絡も取れそうだ。どんな手使ってもミッションは成功させるぜ。オッケーと。こんなとこで足踏みはできねえ。
That even prints paper?
までは発行された剣を手に取り破ることで能力が発動する。
Okay.
来たぜ。探索開始だ。
His power is pretty interesting, but at the same time, he himself is still lame.
呼吸を乱されているな。終始世の。だが、苛立ちながら楽しんでいる自分が一方にある。
Alright, he's starting to have fun.
その源泉が。
I'm having so much fun. Why though? Why am I having fun? Alright, that was 104. I like that. At the very end, we got to see the king, and he's just like, you know, I feel he says he's feeling humiliated, but not on a level where it's like he feels bad about it. He says that he's actually having fun with it, you know. So now we have this girl who's changing the king, you know. Shia Poof has noticed that the king is starting to change, but he's like paying not much attention to it. He is noticing it, but he's paying no mind to it, that it's not gonna trigger anything. Of course it is. The narrator at the very start, when that girl was introduced, the narrator was like, oh yeah, because of this encounter the king will change. That's basically what he said. So we know that the girl is gonna play a big part in this development of the king. I thought it was interesting how he is still trying to shake her up with the moveset, and it turns out that he came up with a move that she came up with, and she hesitated only because she felt bad about having to counter it once again, because she had to counter it in the past, and she felt bad because it was her move, and she thought that it was a move that most won't be able to like overcome. But she had to, because someone else used her move on her, she had to figure out a way to counter it. And once she realized how easy it was to counter it, she felt like I think she called it like a child. Like that move set of hers is like a child. And it like brought her happiness just to see that her child came back to her in a way. It's weird how it was phrased, but I understand it. And she hesitated only because she had to. It was difficult for her to put down that move set that she came up with again. And she said she came up with it like 10 years ago, which makes me wonder how old is this girl? She seems very young, especially since she has like the whole runny nose going on. I feel like that's more like a kid thing. Get her some Kleenex, you know? Of course, they're not going to be that hospitable for her. But it seems like, yeah, the king is going to come around as they continue to play. We have Morel. He was able to break out of it. He used deception. He used the smoke to make a clone of himself, and also a rope so that Chitu couldn't get away. That whole part though, when Chitu was so frustrated, he came up with the crossbow and everything. And then when he fired it and then Morel blocked it, he's like, you know, why would you make a weapon that's slower than yourself? That got me. That got me pretty good. But then Chitu is like, I'm gonna go back to Shia Poof and see if he can get me another new power. So is the powers that Shia Poof's giving out expendable? Like one-time use type of thing? And that power that Leod has, the IOU dispenser. So if I remember the conditions, he has to see what the ability is. He has to have the target be in his favor, like he saves their life or something. So now they owe him in a way. And he looks through it. It stores it. The IOU dispenser thing. It stores the power. He can check it out. He can only use it for an hour, and it can only be used as long as the target is not using it. The power that they have, and the target has to still be alive. So he knows that the dragonfly guy is still alive, and he can only use the spy thing for about an hour. Those two guys that Neferopito brought in they are to back him up, and they were about to leave him, so he had to dish out the IOU dispenser. But it sounds like he's still holding back on what that power actually does. Like, we were revealed what it does, but he didn't want to reveal it to them. I still think the guy's pretty petty though. Like, out of all the Chimera Ant characters that we were introduced to, he seems to be the most lame. Like, he talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk, you know. Yeah, was that all that happened in this episode? I felt like there was more. I could be forgetting something, but I feel like that was actually rather fast. I talked pretty fast about 104. But yeah, these 3 episodes we haven't gotten any Kailua. I thought for sure we'd get back to him, but I guess a bit of a time skip going on, so that when we go back to him, he would be healed by then. We don't have to wait for him to recuperate. He would have been recuperated by the time we see him again. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, I don't know how often I'm gonna be keeping up these reactions, because again, my friend got me addicted to a game. I'm not sorry about being addicted to it. I'm just saying that it might take longer for these episodes to come out now because of that. But for the most part, I'm gonna record these and then edit them on the same day. Hopefully the game doesn't get too much in the way of these reactions. I do like doing these reactions, but right at the moment, this game, man, I would be playing it all night long, and I would go to bed at like 4 in the morning, and I would start playing this game at like 6 in the afternoon and just play non-stop. That's how bad I got it right now. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots. Noel's the best.